Here's another tip from Rolling Strong with insights to help you stay healthy on the road.
Hi, welcome to the podcast. This is Coach Claudia. Today we're going to be talking about living longer by eating more fiber. So fiber is one of those things that I don't think we talk about enough. We talk a lot about protein, a lot about sugar, carbs, healthy fats, and fiber is, I feel, a little neglected. So today I want to shine the light on fiber and talk about why it is one of those things that we want to include more in our diet. So I'll start by naming some of the benefits of adding more fiber to your diet or eating adequate amounts of fiber. So fiber, of course, I think we all know this, is going to help us improve our digestion. It's also going to reduce the risk of colon cancer. It's going to help us reduce inflammation. Fiber actually feeds the good bacteria in our gut, and it can help us with weight control because it makes us feel more satisfied. There's actually a study that shows that people that consume adequate amounts of fiber actually live longer than people that don't. So if we want to live longer, we can definitely eat more fiber. So how much fiber do we need? So on average, women need about 25 grams of fiber and men need about 30 grams. And we actually get about half of that. So we're only getting half of the fiber that we need on a daily basis. And you might be thinking, well, that's not too bad. But I want you to imagine that you have to live with half of your paycheck. And so if you have to imagine that, you would probably not make it at the end of the month, right? And so that is how our body feels when we only give it half of what we need day in and day out. So it's very, very important to consume more fiber. And I'll talk about some of the foods that we get it, that we can get it from. But first, I want to mention that there are two types of fiber, and we need both. The first type of fiber is called soluble fiber. And this is a type of fiber that helps us reduce cholesterol, it improves our glycemic response, and it gives us that feeling of being satisfied. So it makes us feel full. And we can find soluble fiber in beans, vegetables, oats, whole grains, cereals, rice, and seeds. The other type of fiber is insoluble fiber. And insoluble fiber helps us nourish the good bacteria in our gut. And that's really, really important because if we don't have good bacteria in our gut, we're going to have bad bacteria. And bad bacteria, it affects our immune system, it affects our food absorption, and it's just not going to be good. And insoluble fiber also gives us that laxative effect, which I know fiber is known for. And we can find insoluble fiber in veggies, fruits, and whole grains. So it's very important that we get both of those types of fiber. And something that I like to do, this is just my personal way of getting enough fiber in my diet, is that I actually buy a fiber powder, like a supplement, that I can add to my drink or my smoothie. So it's not going to be the only thing I do. I still want to have my fruits and my veggies and my oats, but it's just a way to make sure that I'm getting enough every single day. I would recommend looking for something that has both soluble fiber and insoluble fiber and no added sugar. So I want to share with you 4 tips before you start adding more fiber to your diet. Make sure you are mindful of these 4 things. The first one is to make sure that you're drinking enough water. Because if we're not drinking enough water and we're just adding more fiber to our diet, it will actually have the opposite effect. So instead of helping improve our digestion, we're going to actually be more constipated. So making sure that you're drinking enough water is going to be the first step to drinking more fiber during the day. The second thing that I recommend when you're trying to add more fiber to your diet is to make sure that you're increasing it little by little. So sometimes we can get excited and want to add, more fiber or get to our 25 grams if you're a woman or 30 grams if you're a man. But we really need to be mindful that if our body's not used to it, it might be, it might take a little bit of time to adjust. So start increasing it little by little, maybe adding a little bit more fruit or more veggies, or adding it as a supplement, just little by little, to help our body get used to it, so that we don't feel some effects. Maybe we feel bloated or constipated. So it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong, it just means that maybe you're taking too much too fast. The third tip on taking more fiber is to look at the labels. So when you're buying a product, make sure that it has a good amount of fiber. So how much is a good amount of fiber? If you look at a label, and if a product has 6 grams of fiber per 100 calories, that is a product that is going to be high in fiber. And I would specifically look for this in protein bars or meal replacement shakes. Anything that can give us more fiber is going to be great. And sometimes products are marketed as being high in fiber, but sometimes when we look at the label, that's not really the case. So now 6 grams of fiber per 100 calories would be considered a product high in fiber. And the last thing that I would recommend when adding more fiber to your diet is to make sure that if you're taking medication, don't take it together with your medication. Make sure you take it 2 hours before or 2 hours after, because fiber has this effect that it can, quote unquote, trap medication. So you don't want it to affect your body being able to absorb your medication. So just make sure you space it out and you don't take it at the same time. So in recap, if you want to live longer, healthier life with great digestion and great gut bacteria, implement more fiber. Make sure you have soluble and insoluble fiber. And if you need an extra boost, you can find it in a supplement form with no added sugar. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.
We're glad to offer these podcasts, and we hope you find them useful. At Rolling Strong, we're here to help.